What up guys, I'm DJ Av, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial video on how to get this thing going. Yes, I figured it out, and I humbly apologize to Akai Professional for saying I was disappointed in this, but you know, that was in the review or whatnot, and I'll just link it out to this video because it will help everybody who wants either purchase this in the future or has it now and is wondering what the hell is going on. So moving on, you know, my apologies that I don't have this like where you can actually see it. Yeah, I can't see it if I do a little bit of a that, but you know, anyways, just excuse that. We're going to bring our focus to the transport because the transport does not work coming fresh out the box, and that was a big L for me, taking that. Now I'm doing that, so I'm gonna press play. So as you can see, it works now. So how did I do that? Well, you go into edit mode, and in this mode right here is pretty plain as day. In edit mode, you can touch whatever pad that you want, and you know, you can do stuff like, you know, set like the aftertouch or the notes or whatnot, the cutoff if you want the, you know, stuff to sustain. Like it's as if, you know, whatever you're trying to do in performance mode. And you know, you can change colors, which I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that since we're doing the tutorial. So I touch pad 36. I have, when you're not touching it, I have it as light blue. I can change it to blue. I can change it to purple. I can change it to pink. I can change it to hot pink. Ooh, hot pink. I can change it to light purple, which is not showing very well, light green, you know, etc., etc. Make sure I turn it to, I'm just going to turn it to blue for now because I just want it blue. Or you can make it the on color when you press it. You can change it to hot pink, light purple, or whatever as well, and light green, and you know, from there, and etc., etc. However, how do you get it? How do we get this play and pause and all that? Play, stop, and record to work. You know, just like how it would on a regular MPC. You know, you just gotta make sure that you know you're in edit mode, and then you press the transport, and it will bring up the transport options while you're in edit mode. And from there, you know, it's set by default MIDI CC. That don't do crap for FL Studio, because FL Studio is host built much like the OS of the Akai MPC. Yeah, for those who didn't know that. And that means that, you know, you have to go to MMC mode. MMC mode will allow you to play, stop, and record. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna navigate to screen cam real quick. Now we're in here. Now you can see record. You see it's play and stop. All works. Okay. So with that being said, you know, that is very helpful. So how do you know, exit that? All you do is press either preset or global, but just press preset and make sure, you know, you're back on the preset that you're on. Now, I will say this for people that are in Ableton Live. If you're in Ableton Live only recognizes MIDI, so you will have to go with MIDI CC and the Ableton Live Lite preset within the MPD232. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for that. You know, trying to remember what else. Oh, and if you would pay attention to the sequences right here, you also notice that awesome, right? And you can, with a few clicks of a button, use this just the way how it's set up right here in FL Studio. I don't necessarily do like anything in there like that, but it's not how I drop my MIDI. But yeah, It's there. It's an option if you want to use it or whatnot. Okay, so from that point, and that is pretty much sums up that you don't need the editor software from the actual website itself and loading all the drivers in. So we're going to go back into the big screen, and we're going to go into global and clear up some things, because there's something else that you want to know how to do. And once you go into global, you're going to use these cursors to navigate through a lot of the parameters or whatnot. You'll see like tempo and all that, where you can set the tempo inside of here, and you'll see the clock source. If you plan on using like note repeat the same way that you would use it in an MPC, you make sure that you have it on external. And once again, you go into global, and then you navigate with the cursors until you see clock, and initially it will be set as internal. You can use the internal clock, but that means that you will have to do double work and go into your global settings and, you know, adjust the clock to whatever BPM that you're using to make your beat. So make sure that you just have it on external. I mean, it's quite obvious. And then, you know, you just go to save globals, and then push to enter, and it will save your settings. And also, I would like to point out that there is a reset global factory settings, and you know, you'll just push the button to, push enter, and you know, it will set it back to ground zero to where you was at when you first bought it, just in case you might have messed some stuff up loading stuff in or taking whatever advice. And you know, to edit the exit global, you just go back into preset, and that's how you do that. Now, once again, like I said, using note repeat is a blessing. It is by far the reason why I bought this instead of buying Native Instruments Machine, because you had to buy Native Instruments Machine Studio to be able to use note repeat. That is for most people, that is, even for me, that's a lot of money to spend for something, you know, that you're only going to use within your particular DAW, even though FL Studio has it fully integrated. Now, I'm just going to delete. I'm going to delete my hi-hats that I have in here, and there we go. So I got my hi-hats deleted. So I'm going to go back into Screen Cam once again, and we're going to lay out some hi-hats. So laying out the hi-hats is another chore for people that, you know, don't have, like, that just have to edit it in using the piano roll. It is very fun to do in the MPD32 and the 232. And now we're going to go into setting that up as well. And you have to go into MIDI settings in FL Studio and make sure that you select the MPD232 and send the master sync. If this is on when you go to that means that the master sync is sit there, so that way that when it's set to external, they're both reading. It's the MPD232 is reading whatever BPM is up there, and you know, it takes care of that extra step. You know, also for those who just might randomly just don't know, please turn on, you know, you got to enable the MPD232 within here as well. You know, I'm going to go over here and so you can show you what is enabled. Now, if it's enabled in here, you're fine. Okay? So, yeah. All right, from that point, now we're going to go and just lay out some hi-hats. I'm sorry I'm taking slow steps, but people always mess up. And, you know, so make sure that you have record engaged. Then you have to turn on note repeat. Now you got to keep in mind that these are all your time divisions right here. This button has to be on. Time division has to be on for you to be able to use these as time divisions. Now, if I press on this, you hear nothing. That's because you have to be playing. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna get rid of some of this CPU usage that I'm using right now, and we're gonna focus. As you can see, it recorded perfectly. The MPD232 has an excellent external clock. It reads very fast. So that's basically how you record and note repeat with the MPD232 and FL Studio. Awesome, right? That is probably one of the most funnest things to do in FL Studio, especially with other percussion or other percussion or whatnot. And then you just use your imagination. You might want to use note repeat for specific lines of your music. As you can see, it automatically quantized, even though I'm using line mode instead of like 1, 2, a half, or one quarter, or a third. So that's also to be noted. And also, and you'll probably see it. You'll see that the sequencer was bypassing all that as well. Was actually doing whatever I was doing in time division. And you also can set, and I'm going to go back in here, and we're going to go into edit mode again. And I promise you, I will set you free, guys. All right. From going into edit mode, again, and by pressing note repeat, you can set the time divisions. You also can gate, and you can swing. And, it's all, dictated by using the cursors. And you can set whatever time divisions you want it to be. How fast and how slow you go. So so just keep that in mind when you're working with this. So I think that's pretty much about it. You also can set the faders as well to correspond with FL Studio. It just depends on what the way you want it to be set, to either aftertouch or MIDI CC. If you do use the faders, unfortunately they're not integrated to where they'll correspond to the first 8 or whatnot, and then you can go 17 to 30, 17 to 32 or whatnot. Not that I know of, so don't quote me on that. I do, however, if you pay attention, I do, and I'm gonna go back into the screen again. This will be the last thing that I talk about, because this is very serious stuff. I'm going to the screen cam one more time. So to get these faders to work, once again, they're not fully integrated where they'll work off top. You have to pick whatever faders that you want to work with these faders. So you would tweak this fader right here, and then go into tools, go into last tweak. You'll see lead volume, and then link to controller, and then you'll just link it to the controller. And as you can see, it's working. What it's worth. So with that being said, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, please ask. If you do ask me a question that I answered, I will not answer it. So yeah, so it kind of might not help if I said it at the end. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any more, like I said, if you have any questions that I didn't answer, ask. And yeah, check out my playlist. I have other tutorials as well. And have a nice day. Be riding.